Well, hello, and welcome back, y'all. Today we are going to build a home in Forgotten Hollow and try to make it fit but stand out at the same time. I knew I wanted it to be 3 stories because looking at the other homes in the area, it just kind of seemed like it was going to fit. Once I got the exterior walls kind of figured out, I started working on the floor plan. Well, one thing I forgot was that I have 3 stories, meaning I need stairs. So, word of advice, if you have stairs in your house, if you have more than 1 story, place the stairs before you start placing your floor plan. Let the stairs dictate your floor plan because it was, oh my God, it was a disastrous mess. I went back and forth, I don't know how many times, trying to figure out what was going to work with the stairs based on the exterior walls that I placed, but also the interior walls and the idea that I had for a floor plan. So I did go back and forth on those stairs quite a few times, and I don't mind where they are. I kind of like how they are, but in the end, after I do this part, when I do the walkthrough, you'll see that I did move the stairs or change the stairs a little bit. I kind of turned them around on the main floor, and I think that worked a whole lot better. Now I was kind of start working on the outside, and then I changed my mind and went back to the inside. As you saw, I was going to do a balcony, and then I changed my mind. I was like, no, I don't want to do a balcony. I just want to do a roof all the way around. And I don't think it worked out horribly. It's not the best roofing I did there on the second floor, but it's not my favorite. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. I just couldn't figure it out. So yeah, I did go back and forth with the roofing as always. And the part where the porch is, I had to finagle that I don't know how many times, because if you've got different widths on the left corner as opposed to the right corner, it's definitely going to not match up. So I finagled through that. I think it's after I do this part, after the build part, I think I did go through and kind of adjust the size so that it was the same on both sides, and then it ended up kind of meshing together fairly well. And I do like how it ended up on that part of it anyway. I don't think the house itself is bad. It was just difficult for me. That doesn't mean that it's bad. But at the back of the house looked so bad. So I had to add like another roof piece because it looked so flat and so weird. And then I went in messing with the wall heights, which I forgot that when you do that, you lose your stairs. So I had to redo the stairs again. I'm like, no. It's like, why do I do this to myself? I have no idea, but I did. Anyway, I went ahead and kind of mapped out where the backyard fence was going to go. And then I decided on the windows, I wanted something that fit better. So I ended up, I think it was vampires or werewolves, one of the two that these windows came from. And they definitely fit much better in the neighborhood. But again, still, after I placed my stairs, I still messed with the wall heights and deleted my stairs again. So yeah, I wouldn't say live and learn. It's more like make the same mistake over and over and over again until you finally realize eventually that, don't do that. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever learn because I always forget. It's like I've got my mind set like tunnel vision and going one direction, and I forget about everything else. Everything else I should know. But anyway, sometimes I remember. Most times I don't. I did layer the long bushes, though, up on top of each other just to give it an extra height because I did make them kind of small to fit that wall. But anyway, I continue to work with the floor plan on the inside. I didn't want to make anything too much bigger or too much smaller, but I still continue to do that even after I did the speed build part. So here in just a bit, we're going to walk through the full completed build. I hope you're going to like it. I think it looks nice. I do think that it could have been better, but I think it looks really nice. So make sure that you hit like, comment, subscribe. Let's just get into it, y'all. Just blink. Okie dokie. I'm all done. Yay. I hope you guys like this one. This one, the theme of it, I guess, kind of evolved and changed as I went. So whatever decorations I put down, I kind of had to go back and change a few here and there. But overall, I really do like kind of how this turned out. It's a little different. Not too different than what I normally do, of course, but I kind of was looking around at the other homes to see, kind of what I was looking at to determine what I wanted to do. I took more inspiration from this house than this one over here because this one is just a square box. But, you know, if it works, it works. You know, to each their own, I suppose. But I did want to brighten it up a little bit. I didn't want it to be really dark and creepy. I wanted it to be pretty, kind of closer to Victorian than vampire. So this is what I came up with. I went back and forth on the exterior wall color. I'm not 100% sold on this one, but I do like it. It's not perfect. Obviously missed a spot there, but I do have the blue swatch of the roofing, and I do like how that turned out. It just kind of lightens it up a little bit. The windows don't look great on the outside, especially in the back, but it is what it is, and that's where it's going to stay. I did want to add something to the front of the house, so that's why I added the planter boxes. I went back and forth on a few different ones, but being that all the trim and everything is white, I thought a white planter box would work, and I think this I think this turned out pretty close to what I was thinking. Here on the porch, we've got, you know, a bunch of different plants and the mailbox, the light. I did add these hanging plants here from the spandrels on either side of the porch. Just kind of think it adds a little extra touch. Left the patio or the porch concrete slab. I think that would have been normal at the time. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. Just another wall there. We go. Okay. And this is why we walk through before we upload. Anywho, I did some terrain paint over here with the little gardening section, and that goes around to the back porch and the side gate over here where the outdoor trash cans are. We also have the telescope, a flower arranging table, the water hose, because y'all always need that, and this gorgeous swing set. This is probably my favorite swing set. I wish I could use it in more builds, but it doesn't fit with every build. So, and then some little bit of landscaping here with terrain paint as well. And then a little bunch of rocks and kind of wildflowers that grew in this little patch for some reason. We don't know why, but it's there and it's going to stay. Now, you guys ready to go inside? I can't wait to show you. I love it. It's so cool. So here we walk up on the porch. There's a closer look at the plants that are out front. And then we go in through this large double door entry and your stairs. I did change the stairs around a little bit because of how it ended up looking in the end. I really preferred this to the other way. It opens up the entryway a little bit more and it gives it a little more cohesiveness, I suppose, more of a flow. So we've got the little entryway table there, the chandelier hanging plant, and your entryway items. Over here at the corner of the shelves, you can't see it. Oh, dang it. Hold on. Well, dang it, you still can't see it. Anyway, I added a little room here with a half wall and raised the platform to just under where the windows are, which is where those holes are. I'll show you in the top-down view here in a little bit so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. And then added some plants in here that kind of poked out from above the half wall just to give it a little extra flavor, I suppose. Now, let's see. From here, we go to the right, and this is the living room. Again, I went back and forth on the colors, and I decided on the green. It went fairly well with the wallpaper, and I was, again, thinking in my head kind of modern Victorian-esque type style. So I wanted the loopy, swoopy, curvy things here and there, and I think I got that. So we've got the coffee table and the console table over there that match each other with a little bit of clutter, so baskets under the table, the TV, all of that good stuff. The curtains, they do have a cat, so they have a nice little bed and a scratching post. They also have a Victorian style, well, it's not really a Vitrola, it's a record player, but well, no, actually, this is a Vitrola. Never mind, I take it back. That is a Vitrola. Little accent table. There's not a ton on the walls because I didn't think it really needed it. I thought it might kind of take over if I did that. So I just left it somewhat bare on the walls anyway. This is the half bath. Got a couple of shelves over there. These towels I used, I made the one on the left smaller by 2, the one on the right smaller by 1, and raised them up into the shelf so that they didn't poke out the top, which is a very, very fine line. But I like it because it looks like it's hanging they're hanging from the shelf, which is kind of what I was going for. And then a little bit of decor on the shelves, and then the linen cabinet over here with some extra toiletries for your guests as needed, and for family when they're downstairs in the living room area. We go back through this archway and we go into the kitchen, which I do like the kitchen. It's not 100% what I was going for, but I do like it. I think it worked out okay. This is probably one of my favorite floors. I need to stop using it so much, but for some reason that cabinet's gone. Now it's back. So you got your coffee bar area over there with the cabinet with some stuff. Got all your amenities as required in any kitchen. Added a few more things on that shelf, which I did make this shelf smaller by 1. It was a little too wide and it was clipping into the curtains, and I didn't like that. Speaking of the curtains, I did make the curtains smaller by 2, I believe, to place them above the counter and on either side of the window. I think they worked out great. This cabinet over here in the corner, good luck, but we're going to say it's not a problem. And then in this little corner here at the side of the bar, we've got a place for your trash can and the little fruit baskets with your aprons hanging up. I do like the layout of the kitchen. It's a little different, but I like it. I like the chairs. I think that works out great because those chairs kind of go with the dining area. The dining area is a little small, but that's okay. It works. We've got a little decor, some plants, the table, rug, all of that, the curtains, and then over here I just added a plant and a table because this section here just was way too barren. So I needed to add something, and that's what I added. It wasn't anything spectacular. But now we go up the stairs to the small little landing here. This is the second floor. And we've got the count bed with a scratching post and the plant wall, I suppose, from Businesses and Hobbies that I made smaller by 1 to fit in that little corner so that there was space for your sim to walk through. Added a little bit, well, a little one picture on the wall just to add a touch of color. That curtain disappeared for some reason. I will have to add that back in. Still there, just wasn't showing up. So anywho, there it is. Again, I made them smaller by 2 so that they wouldn't hang down to the floor because I didn't want them hanging into the stairwell. So that's why I did it that way. Now in this door, I cannot function today this way. There we go. In this door here, we have the main, well, the only bedroom, again with the curtains that I made smaller by 1 so they weren't hanging on the floor, because they were clipping into the nightstand that I made smaller by 1 so that I could fit them next to the bed. But I do think the layout's okay. It's a little squishy. It's not the most spacious area, but it works. Apparently a female lives here because there's jewelry and stuff and makeup and whatnot. So there you go. Nice, beautiful green bed tucked away back here in this little nook. Because it really is a little nook. It's a very small room. If we leave this room and go around over here, this is the main bathroom, which is a little bit of a tight squeeze. But as you can see, I did the same thing with the towels over here, which was so extremely difficult because to get them where I wanted them, I needed to be basically at this level. And this is a very tight bathroom. So to be able to place those was a little bit difficult for me, but I managed. Obviously, I got it. She's got her bathroom clutter, another bathroom cabinet over here. And then the shower is back in this corner with some towels and robes. And then again, the curtain's smaller by 2, making sure I have ceilings everywhere. And then we go up to the third floor up here. This is the open office. Oh, I keep forgetting the third floor is very quick. So over here we have a few more activities. We've got a couple of bookshelves that I angled into each other so that it gave a little bit of a different look. So everything isn't so square and lined up with the walls and everything. I like to put things at angles if I can. And that's what I did there. Cluttered up the desk. We've got the painting easel over there with some painting supplies, a little table in the corner with a little plant and your chess table so that you can practice some chess. I did find a rug that I really liked, but I couldn't find a wallpaper that I really liked that matched the theme of the kind of bright, forgotten hollow home that is sort of Victorian, but not quite. So I couldn't find essentially a rug to match or a wallpaper to match the rug that I picked that would have worked. because I think it was like in the orange category, and there is not a lot in the orange category that would have worked for what I was doing, or it was just way too bright. So mixed it and went with this and the gray rug, and I think it worked out just fine. So let's take a look from the top down. So as you see, here is that space that I was telling you about with the plants that kind of poke out over the half wall. I needed the half wall to be tall enough so that if you're walking down, you're not just going to fall into the plants kind of thing, which I know it's The Sims, but I have to think in reality when I build. Otherwise, it doesn't work for me. My brain doesn't work that way. Anyhow, that is what I was talking about. Now, we have the entryway stairs here, the living room, the bathroom, kitchen, bar area, and dining room, as well as the back porch and the front porch. Upstairs is the little tight bedroom and the bathroom and landing. And then upstairs is the office activity skill room, basically. So it's kind of like all three in one. I did forget to show you the patio out back. So if we go through the double doors in the kitchen, you come out to the patio and you've got your grill and a little table. Beautiful fencing and beautiful scroll work on the spandrels. We've got a hanging plant there and around the corner where the stairs are, which leads you down into the yard area. I know the yard area is quite empty, and that is quite all right. I don't mind it at all. I think sometimes you have to have an empty yard to make it feasible, make it reliable, no, believable. And I think that works. Now, one thing I noticed was that I think that's a roof trim, but why is it just there? It doesn't make sense. I know you can only see it in this version or in that view because I don't see it here at all. Oh no, there it is. I see it the right here. Here's that little thin blue line. Oh, that's for the roof, isn't it? No, it's not. What's that from then? It's not from that. Huh. Okay, well, I don't know what that's from, but you're probably not going to see it in gameplay. Anywho, I hope you liked this one. I hope you enjoyed it and that it gave you a little bit of inspiration somewhere here and there. Hope you come back so you can come see Moa and listen to more of my jibber jabber. If you do want to download this one by chance, it is under hashtag Bright Forgotten Hollow or under my personal hashtags lilmomma and Momma-One. In any case, do feel free to leave any and all questions, comments, and suggestions down below. Hit that like button, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe as well. And until next time, y'all, have fun.